Welcome back, bestie. Thank you for joining us on the Stepmoms Without Children podcast. This episode is so fun. Get ready. It's with my newest friend, Jessica Hart. If you're looking for her on Instagram, Jess_sweet_Hart, Hart. She's a singer, songwriter, voice actor, podcast host, gamer. She has a podcast with her two besties called Opinionated Lushes. They're based in Canada, and they're just talking about like things that are happening in Canada and in their lives and getting a little drinky drink at the same time. She's Jessica Hart on Spotify and Apple Music and all of the platforms or places that you can listen to music. She has her husband. She mentions it. Her husband is a little producer, and so she's doing some songs and then doing her own thing. And so find her if you're looking for some new music. Something we do need to talk about, a little technical difficulties during this episode. Everything was fine at the time, but in editing, her sound is just a little bit jumpy. And so please just bear with us because it is a great interview and she has a lot of fun things to talk about with me. Please enjoy Jessica Hart. Hey girl, hi.
Hi.
We love your hair.
Oh, thank you so much. I actually shaved my head the very first in 2020. I went bald.
Giving Britney Spears?
Yes, I did have a Britney Spears moment. I was like, I'm not going out. This is just taking time. I just shaved my head. And so now I'm growing it out and I have like a mullet.
Oh, but that's super in.
Yeah, I was like, this is the time to like shave your head and grow it out.
Yeah, my sister cut her hair off. She says not in a Britney moment, but it suited her. And now her hair grew back and it's like better than ever. Are you experiencing that it's better than ever?
I think it probably would have been better than ever if I didn't keep dyeing it.
Oh, you ruined it. It's ruined.
Yeah, but
that's fine.
I like color. I like color, so.
Yeah. I did like a pink. Well, hold on. It's blonde now. But I did these peekaboo pinks that you can't see. Oh, right here.
Oh, right there. You
all
can
over,
see,
and they're all in the back and stuff. But that was like 3 months ago. I'm sorry. But more about you. So you have podcasts, honey. We love that for you.
Thank
you. You're all over the internet singing songs. Like the vibe, like for the listener, the vibe is like EDM, trance, but like when they have that like pretty, like high pitched like lady in the background that's me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I always say it's like chill
Is that
based.
all of the music or just like the one that I saw or heard of most recently that was being advertised on Instagram? That was the vibe of that one. Is that like your vibe all the time? Like the EDM vibe?
Most of the time, mainly because my husband is a producer and that's usually his vibe. So when he produces, he does that. But I do have other songs. That's what you get. I know, right? It's like marry a producer and you'll have a music career. It's
love to see it.
I'm exploring other like genres that are like more what I listen to and not just kind of what's out there now. So I do have like a slow piano song that's out, and I have a couple like kind of almost folksy songs that I'm going to be working on.
Oh, no, that's my vibe.
Yeah, that's my vibe too.
I love that. And so I listened to your podcast, and so we have a husband of 10 years. I saw that on Facebook or something.
Yes.
But he's Greek.
Yes.
Here's the thing. I love a culture, honey. I love, like, so my family, like, we're Portuguese and we're Puerto Rican. And so we're very Puerto Rican and we're very Portuguese. Like, we're so Portuguese that my Puerto Rican dad was in a Portuguese band for a really, really long time. Both of my parents speak Spanish and speak Portuguese. Like, I love a culture queen. And so is your husband like a Greeky McGreekerson oppa breaking plates at weddings? Doing the dancing Zorba?
Thing. I am white. Like,
yes.
Pepper spicy white. On both sides of my family, there's no culture to be found, okay? So when I met my
white.
And so when I met my husband, I was like, oh, he's Greek. Interesting. They didn't raise him Greek. His mom is very Greek. The rest of his family is very Greek. They raised him French Canadian.
Oh my. Did they just what are all the cultures? Oh, French Canadian. Let's pick that one.
They lived in Montreal and
okay.
Yeah. And so that's just how he went to French school instead of Greek school and kind of thing. Yeah. So he doesn't know Greek culture, but his family does. So they bring it. So I get it from them. There's no culture in our house.
Yeah. Does he speak French now?
Yeah, he actually didn't learn English until he was about 17. Yeah.
What the fuck is Canada doing?
In Quebec, you do not have to learn English, so he didn't.
What a time to be alive. Yeah. I kind of love that. Hold on. So does he have like an accent, like a French accent?
No. He's a weirdo, and like his artist name is Tepno, TEP space NO, and you can listen to his songs that he sings on. No accent at all. But he only had to learn English because his family moved to Ontario when he was 16, 17. So
and they were like, we don't do this here. So his family, they already spoke English?
His mom speaks English, French, and Greek.
We love a trilingual queen.
Yeah. She used to work in banking.
We love that for her. Okay, girl. We love the mom. Breaking plates and stuff. That's so fun. And so you're a mom. And so, here's the thing. I want to be a mom. We're trying and all the things. But it just seems overwhelming. It seems busy. It seems there's not a lot of time for mom. It seems like I just been childless for so long that like I don't want to give my time up.
No,
like is that being a mom giving up all your time?
It's yes. Short answer, yes. I had my son when I was a teenager, so I was still brainwashed.
Starting him off early.
Yeah, I was still like that. I'm gonna be a wife and I'm gonna have children, and then the bio dad of
those were your aspirations.
I was a teenager. I thought that's what women did. I grew up in small town Canada, so I was
right.
Like,
there's something I've never heard anyone say. Small town Canada.
That's always how I describe it, because it's like it has like 60,000 people, but everyone knows everyone, and we have like one hangout spot, so it's small town Canada. Yeah. But
how many kids do you have?
2. Yeah, I have 2 children. 8-year age gap between.
OMG. So how old is the youngest now?
6.
Oh. You have a long way to go, I feel.
Yeah. Even more so, just because my kids just have different needs than regular kids. I never know how to say that nicely, but like
no, I this part of the thing that I wanted to talk to you about is your daughter's on the spectrum, or I don't know if both of them. I don't know.
Both of them.
Because I saw. Okay, so I saw a podcast that you were on. You were describing basically like echolalia, and so like when she says bye, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah. Half of it talking.
Because I've seen that before. Like I've seen, and even just kids that are not on the spectrum. Like I've seen kids be like, no, that's how you say bye to people. Bye, like and subscribe.
Yeah, she learned half of her language just from watching videos, and she talked when she was younger, so we didn't even realize she was autistic until she was about 3 years old. And we're like, she keeps saying like, thank you and you're welcome. She doesn't call me mom.
Okay.
And that was like
She's just like
weird.
talking at you.
Yeah. So that was the first inclination. But yeah, both kids are
Mm-hmm.
on the spectrum. My daughter just a
Mm-hmm.
little more so.
Yeah. Is she or are either of them? Just because, so I don't even know if I mentioned this already. I don't think I did. The listeners know. So I am a stepmom without children. My husband has a 20. Why do I forget every time? I feel like he's 28 or something. He's married and has now 2 kids. So I'm a step grandma. I'm 36 years old. And I have another stepson who's on the spectrum who's 21. And so we have him still every other weekend. He just finished his last year in school, like he's done. And so a lot of our time is filled with like stimming and him like talking in the mirror to himself. And like he has the things that he says. And they're my favorite things that he says. So one of the best stories, I don't even know if I told this on here. So we're at my mom's house for Thanksgiving. American Thanksgiving, the genocide of the Native people celebration. And
Awkward white people laugh.
Literally, hey colonizers. And so my sister and her boyfriend at the time, husband now, they're playing the penis game. Are you familiar?
I am not.
Damn. I really thought that this was a thing. When I said it the first time, the person I was talking to didn't know what I was talking about. It's when you say penis and like the next person has to say it louder than the person who said it before. And so you just go back and forth, penis, penis, penis. And you know what I mean? And so this is at Thanksgiving while the hustle and bustle of serving the table is happening. And then so Ryan says, shut up or I'll break your penis. And so that's our favorite quote that's ever come out of his mouth. And he said that's from Family Guy. And I was like, I personally don't remember, but sure. And he just has these isms that he just says all day, like ad nauseum. And sometimes it's annoying. Like he like will like ask you what your favorite like what's it called? Season? What's your favorite season? Every time the seasons change, like that's for a month. That's what he wants to talk about.
Yeah.
Batman, Joker, anything Marvel.
That sounds like my son.
Anything with or anything with like these really old actors that he likes. What's his name? Darren McGavin loves a Darren. I don't know who this man is. I don't know that man. Nor do I want to watch his movies that came out in the 50s. But he loves it.
So
what
funny
are your
like
kids
that?
into?
Like autism, it's just like my daughter now, just because we try to gentle parent and all that stuff. So I'm like asking her, I'm like, so sorry, you can't do that. And she goes, no, sorry, and just walks away to continue doing the thing I just told her she can't do. And I'm just like, no, sorry to you, actually. not to me.
That was me saying that.
Yeah, like no, sorry. It's okay, honey, is another one she does. It's okay, honey.
Oh. Well, now you have to like remember like all the things that you say, I feel.
Everything. We have to watch swearing very, very carefully around her now. She started.
Oh, yeah. Because if you swear at the same time that you do everything, she's going to be like, oh, no, this is what we do. When we stub our toe, we yell.
And like some words get stuck in the brain and you can't pick and choose which words. So it's like, I'm always like, it's going to be a bad word that gets stuck today. Oh, no, she's going to say it around grandma.
Yeah, right. And what about your son? Is he like communicative?
Yeah, he had hyperlexia, so he was a very early reader and a very early speaker. So we didn't think autism. Nerd. We thought gifted.
Then we got a smarty pants.
Right. That's what we thought until he got a little older and he started having outbursts. And it turns out he also had epilepsy. So we learned that.
That sounds expensive.
Well, we're Canadian, so we get a little benefits with that. His medication's covered till 25. So yeah,
love that.
But then a few years after,
America could never.
He was just having like social issues connecting with kids his age. And that's when we got him tested again, and they were like, yeah, this is autism. And we're like, oh, shucks, it's genetic.
And so you said that he didn't get along with kids his age. And so was he getting along with older people?
Yeah, generally just how he talked. And he's a very tall kid. He's like almost 5'10" now, and he's 14. I'm only
Okay,
5'6",
stretch.
so yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so yeah, he rather talk to adults and stuff like
Yeah.
that than children his age. So it was really hard getting him to like make friends. So
Right. The thing that always happens with us when we're going to go to like a party like setting, we know that he will find the oldest person in the room and talk to them about his nonsense. What do you think about this? And what face would you make if this happened? And how would you feel if this? And what emotion would you do if this? To the oldest person in the room who's like, who's this person? And now he's like a fucking grown man with like a facial hair. And they're like, who is this man? What? Hello? But if you're an old person and you're hanging out with me, you're watching my kid for this party. See ya.
oh, that's sweet though. Like maybe it's
It
because
is.
like adults are like nicer. Like they'll sit there and kind of awkwardly look
100%.
around and listen.
Yeah, people our age are like, okay, listen, my attention span and my social battery, all time low. What are we doing here? What are we talking about? With older people, they're like, oh my God, you want to talk to me? With my family, they also they really want to connect with him. And so if he wants to talk about Batman, honey, we're talking about Batman. We don't know nothing about a Batman or a Spider-Man or a comic book. But if Ryan wants to talk about that, go, tell me all about it. Tell me every single part that happened. Reenact the movie for me if you want. That's fine. As long as you're talking to me and you like me, that's fine.
That is with autism. It's you got to connect on their terms.
Yes.
It's very just when they feel like having that interaction with you, just enjoy it then. They might not want to see you all next day. So
literally. Just be flattered. So you're a fellow podcaster, and we love that. But you have 2 podcasts, bitch. You're in the streets. You're in the podcast streets. And so you have Opinionated Lushes, which I listen to, and it's so cute. It reminds me of my husband's podcast in that, it's hanging out with your friends. It's a little kiki. But you guys are, really smart and care about social issues and know about, politics, where that's where I leave the room. So whose idea was this? It's so fun.
The 3 of us, so we're at Montana's. It's like a Texas Roadhouse type chain restaurant, and we were getting drunk there, obviously. And we were just like, oh my God, guys, we're so funny. And my one co-host, Sonia, was like, we should start a podcast because men can do it. Why can't we?
Yeah.
And I'm very we have an idea. Let's get this going. So I just
the doer of the group.
That's me. I'm the one that was like, we need to record at least 3 episodes before we release just to make sure we're going to continue it. And this isn't a fleeting moment idea, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And 2.5 years later, it's still going.
Oh, I didn't even realize.
Yep.
That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Do you guys have a set day of the week and time that you do it, or it varies every time?
We have 2 days out of the week that we record because we also do bonus episodes for our Patreon and that kind of stuff. And we also release a mini series of our books and booze, which is we have indie authors on. So those require additional recording time. But yeah, it's a set schedule every week.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Listen, being consistent is the key. So my husband has been doing his podcast, it feels like for 10 years. But officially this actual podcast on the platform, it's been, I think it was 3 years in the summer. And it's every Wednesday. And even when he was in the hospital with COVID, about to get his toe chopped off, which he didn't, but that's what they said he was there for. He was there in the hospital. I had to go to the hospital and drop off all of his podcasting equipment to use the hospital's Wi-Fi to live stream and do the whole thing. And so consistency is it. It's a running thing that I say on this show. I want to quit every day. Every day I'm like, you know what? These bitches won't even miss me. It's fine. It'll just be my last one. I mean, I think I'm like 4 ahead. So like this episode will air probably like 3 or 4 weeks from now, like depending on like whatever the schedule is. And I say it all the time. It's fun. It was fun while it lasted, but I don't want to. Especially today because I went out last night and I'm like tired. But then you get a little like, you get a little comment, you get some feedback, and you're like, they like me. They really like me.
Oh, that was our biggest thing. We're like, people think we're funny? What?
Right. You're like, oh, it wasn't just me. Okay.
Okay.
It's the imposter syndrome, the middle child syndrome just all comes out. And then, like, you get a compliment or, like, a random person from your past is like, oh, I love your show. You're like, do you? Thanks.
We get invited in Canada to Comic-Cons now to, like, host a booth there for podcasting. So we get to like meet people in real life and stuff like that. And when they asked us, we were like, I think you mean the other opinionated lushes. Not that there is one, but like it can't be us. It can't.
Sorry, wrong number. Thank you. Bye.
But yeah,
oh my god,
great.
so you have this other podcast that I think has put out daily, or it was a blog or something. I didn't click on it yet. About music. Tell me.
Okay, this is actually kind of a funny story. So I'm not the only Jessica Hart in the world. Okay, crazy. I know.
Crazy.
I'm not. There's more
nonsense.
And there's this one Jessica Hart in the States who works for a local like Ohio news thing, but she also writes for a popular music blog called Ear Mill. But when you search Jessica Hart music, I come up. So a bunch of PR people, music managers, etc. kept mistaking my email with hers. So they were sending me like private download links to check out albums of people that haven't released it yet and exclusive music videos.
Thanks, I'd love to.
Right. And I waited a year. I gave them a year to figure out the mistake. And I was like, okay.
Right.
Now it's mine. So I just started a music blog. It was daily. There was a brief hiatus this week because I was catching up on podcast editing.
That happened.
But yeah, so I started a podcast for it. There's 2 episodes released of it now. And it's just kind of going over indie music specifically, you know, the small underground niches that you might not see because they're not getting as much publicity as everyone else. So, yeah.
I just remembered something, and so this is giving off topic, but we'll get back to your daily podcast because I have follow-up questions. You have a tattoo on your entire back.
I do, my wizard.
That's crazy. No, it's not crazy. That's wild. How long did that take?
That was over 3 sessions, and I think it took about 15 hours total. 16 hours total, split between 3 sessions.
That's wild. And then you have to like wait for it to heal and stuff?
Yes.
It's just giving itchy. It's giving I need to scratch.
Oh, I didn't wear a bra for weeks. Like I just couldn't.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
OMG. And then I see that you have the Five Nights at Freddy's people on your shoulder. And so I watched this movie, terrified, the whole thing. But is this like new, or like is this an old story that we already knew about?
This was based, so I really love video games. I'm a big gamer as well. So Five Nights at Freddy's was a game made by one guy, Scott Cawthon, about 9 years ago. And it was this horror indie game that came out. It was $5 to buy. $5 Canadian. That's like 10 cents American. Like conversion rate's crazy. But yeah, it was, and it just, the way the game played was so unlike other horror games at the time that it just blew up. So I actually got this tattoo 8 years ago. I didn't know it was going to be a thing.
That. And then people came out and they were like, wow, look at your tattoo. It doesn't even look new.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. So the whole point of me telling you or asking you about all of the things that you're involved with, which so far we have 2 kids on the spectrum, that's 2 things already. We have Opinionated and Lushes that we've been doing for 2 years, 2 episodes a week that you're also editing, I imagine, because your
Yes, I
voice
do
is
all
the most
sound editing.
prominent.
Yeah.
Yes, you are a voice actress, an actor, a VA, if you will. You play video games on
Twitch.
you're a mom, you're a wife, and I'm sure that there's a million other hats that you wear. Where is this time? Are you a sorcerer? Do you stop time so you can do a bunch of shit? Like, how are we doing all this? Do you sleep 3 hours a night?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, my Fitbit's been saying I've been getting about 6, so that's not so
Crazy.
bad.
Oh, it's not?
Monster energy drink.
Like and subscribe.
A lot of it is I'm sure having 2 kids with biologically 2 different dads that are both on the spectrum means I have something going on in my head. Just genetic, based on what I know of genetics. I'm not a biologist. Okay. So I just always
I'm a Scientologist. I just think that maybe it's me.
I just like it's one of those things where it's like I always have to be doing something, and when I feel like I'm idle, that's when I start a new project. So,
you want to trade? I have mad stuff I have to do. Just come over and do them all, and then you can go back to Canada.
I do have some privileges. So like we do hire a housekeeper for once every 2 weeks just to do like the floors and the stuff I can't surface clean. We work from home, so like my husband as well, so it's 2 of us home every day to like take turns watching the kids, so we can do what we need to do. And
so modern.
Yeah, it's very 50-50, except when he's on tour. And then I make him buy me stuff because he's paying me to stay home.
That's your love language.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm here. Give me something.
Yeah. You wouldn't be on tour if it wasn't for me watching kids. So
you're welcome, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. What a fun thing. So you mentioned 2 different dads. And so not that we love a drama.
Oh, I can give you a drama.
Daddy number 1, are we in the room?
Oh, we're not in the room at all. We're completely legally outside the room, actually.
Thanks for coming by.
Oh my gosh. He moved back to my small town Canada, so I don't even have to deal with him no more.
Love that.
Teenage pregnancy, he wasn't my soulmate. He was just a very insecure man. And like all men that are insecure, he wanted to take that on a woman. And I was like,
grow up. It's 2024. Are you kidding?
I was like, no, thank you. No, thank you. And I was going to university and stuff. Like, my son was 16 months old when I went to university. So he left and he tried to use the court system to like get 50-50 custody and like all this stuff. And I was like,
do you want to watch his baby? Go ahead.
Yeah. I was like, and then he didn't show up. That was the fun part. I took a day off work and he didn't show up to the court case he filed against me.
Hate to see it.
So my lawyer walked in, was like, we don't want him to have anything, but he still had to pay child support. So he owed child support.
Does he pay it?
For 3 years? 3 years. He was he didn't pay it. He was in arrears by like $2,000. Then I fell in love with my husband, and my husband was like, hey, I could just like adopt him.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
maybe we should have your husband on, step zaddy with children.
Yeah. Like he legally he paid for all the lawyers, and we had to pay. This is how petty ex-baby daddy is. He didn't want to owe any more child support, so we were like, okay, all the money you owe will be washed away. And then he also like, and you have to pay for my lawyer.
Are you new? Are you okay?
We did, though. We were
Oh.
just like, we want your lawyer's name. Like, we're paying it to the lawyer. You're not getting any money from us.
Oh,
But
100%, right? Give me
he
the money and
signed
I'll
those
pay it.
papers. And now he has 2 other children with 2 other baby mamas.
Oh my God. The TV show that I want to film when all of these people find out about each other, all these children find out about each other.
Small town Canada. I actually know second baby mama, and our kids have met. So.
Oh, knowing that they're siblings?
Yes. Third baby mama, I don't know, but. And he's marrying a 4th woman. Like, he's not with any of these baby mamas. He's marrying another woman. A small town Canada, I'm telling you.
Canon. It's giving Elon Musk. It's giving broke Elon Musk.
Netflix needs to make this a show, like Small Town Canada. And we should have them. We should write Netflix now.
Yeah, well, also, like, as an American, I have never heard anyone say small town Canada. Like, usually you hear, like, small town USA. In my small town. But thinking of in Canada, like, no, Canada is a glorious place, so they don't have small towns.
Well, you've heard downtown Canada. Downtown Canada?
Never one time.
Oh, okay. That's how we used to describe Toronto. Like, it's downtown Canada. So everywhere else is small town Canada.
So, gotcha. I have family in Canada.
Where?
I have family in Brampton and Mississauga. And then I don't know where my cousin moved. I think he's trying not to tell anyone where he moved to, but it's giving farmland. It's giving acres.
It's everywhere in Canada, just on the outside. Like, that's.
Yeah. I know my cousin in Brampton, like, he lives in like what we would call like cul-de-sac, like very fancy McMansions. And then I have an uncle. Is it a McMansion? I don't know. But he's like a fancy like construction guy. And then I have an uncle. I feel like he moved though, but he was always in Mississauga. So we would always visit Mississauga as kids, like every summer as a family.
That's actually really close to me. Like, I can drive there. Yeah. Okay, we're pretty much related now.
I love to see it. I love a pink hair cousin. This is my cousin. She's Portuguese. So I'm in awe. This whole thing, this is the theme of this podcast. I'm in awe about how much time you have. Not even how much time you have, because you have as much time as anybody else. But like how many things you do with the time that you have creatively. So for the listener, this kind of like falls in line just because my last podcast, we were talking about like being creative. My last guest would make a fantastic podcaster. And then in the, what we call Cuddle Time, like me and my husband, after the episode, after editing is done, we kind of just, like talk about the episode, talk about things that are happening in our lives and stuff like that. And so he got a little emotional because I was like thanking him for like making me do this podcast against my will. And
we love a supportive partner. Like, we love that.
Yes. And so he was just like, oh my God, thanks. And like the creative vibes, like creativity is like such a thing that it's like, I didn't know that I needed it. I just thought like, oh, I have all these like great ideas. I'm not going to do anything about them. But I love to think of fun things to do. And I love to have a crazy personality. You know what I mean? And so like the creative that your whole life and like, I don't know, financial system is built around. I love this for you. I'm so in awe of like how you do essentially what you love and that it is a creative thing and not like a not creative thing, not working for the man.
I do have to thank my husband for that a lot too. He knew what he wanted to be at 10 years old. Like, he was like, I am doing music. 10 years old. Just so I met him when he was 27, still living at his parents' house. Okay? Making music in their basement. And he was still, they were like, he could stay there as long as he went to school. So he got a master's degree in French, like French literature.
Just so he could
stay home rent-free making music.
That is so petty.
Till he was
Oh, I have to go to
27.
school? Fine, I
Yeah.
will. I'll go to school.
Yeah.
I
He
take
went
like
to
half,
school.
what is it? Like be part-time. No, I'll take 8 years to do this degree. I don't give a fuck.
That's exactly what he did. And when I met him, he was still making music and he would spend all his time making music. And because he didn't have to pay rent and he didn't have to go out and get a job, he could spend all the time making music. He was like, this is what I'm doing. And he tried multiple avenues and eventually his stuff started taking off. And then he was
Love
like, oh, I
that.
got a couple $1,000s in my bank account. Oh,
Uh-huh.
I have to become a corporation now to do taxes. Like, what? You can buy a house?
Okay,
Like, what's
Mr.
going
Unce,
on?
Unce, Unce.
Yeah, and I was there, I was doing my degree and stuff like that. And one day he
Mm-hmm.
was just like, I need you to sing a song for me. And I was like, I don't
Me,
sing.
me, 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 me.
I don't know what you're talking about. Singing me? No. And he kind of pushed me into that. And then because of our kids' needs, I was just staying home. So it was like the minute wasn't worrying about like work schedules. I started
Uh-huh.
like creating. I was like, I'm bored. I'm bored. What do I
Right.
want to do? And it's like you could scroll on TikTok or I could make this giant SpongeBob head behind me. You know, like
Or that.
I'm bored. Like let's find things to do. And then I was inviting, doing podcasts with other people. And now it's like I
Right.
get to be collaborative in the creativity. And that's
Oh,
motivating, in my opinion.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's so fantastic. I love that. For me personally, for the listener, I mean, I hope, just because I know I have a lot of listeners that are like moms, and like we had like somebody on that was like, I was like, what are you like outside of being a mom? Like, what's your vibe? And she was like, I don't really know. And so, not that that's sad or like, there's no shade on that, but it's like everybody has something creative in them. Like,
Oh,
you you
100.
just do.
Mhm.
And so for me, I feel like it was so dormant for so long because just like making fun of people and talking shit and being silly about it, like that's not what the universe meant when they said that I was creative. You know what I mean? Like there
Well,
was more
and
than that.
creativity
And
like
so,
punished when you're older. It's like if you're not making money as a creative, it's just like punished. It's like how dare you? Like even dyeing
right. It's like
hair.
I just want to,
I'm just saying
yeah,
like I'm
I just want to
older.
do this.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
let me do what I want. Like what? It's not affecting you.
Yeah.
But
It
yeah.
shouldn't be, and if it is, it shouldn't. Like go talk to somebody about it. I just like, so you said that makes 100% sense. Like it is very like, oh, you have time for this, but you don't have time for this, and it's like, don't count my fucking minutes. And I also feel like just like as a kid, like people say like, oh no, money for the arts and let's do things in art classes and stuff, but it's also like it's not getting like honed in the way that as a creative adult now, like I wish schools were, at least not in America, at least. Like
Same
they
in
have
Canada.
schools that are like right, like they have schools that are for the arts. They have schools that have fantastic like theater programs and art programs, and if you get a really great teacher in those things, and yeah, but then there are also other people who like their potential doesn't even get noticed because there's nobody to notice it.
Mhm. Well, like there's like I
I
have one
just
teacher actually that like I always look back like when was the moment that like I knew I could be creative, and it's always this one teacher, Mr. West. But
okay, Mr. West.
he came to our school when I was in grade 10 and he was like,
Mhm.
we're going to start an improv team. And yes.
Mr. West. Oh,
And it
so
turns
fun.
out in Canada, we have an
Mhm.
entire league for Canadian
Yeah, you do.
improv. We have the Canadian Improv
Yeah.
Games. So he signed up for that. He was like, and only 6 people the first year joined the improv team. And he was like, we're going to finals. We're going to do this. And it was, I was there and I was doing it up until I did it for 4 years. And we had so many people try out after 4 years that we had to make multiple teams. I was also pregnant that last year, so that was fun. But I still did it because I had no shame.
That made for funny improv.
You go to the side. Hello. I always played like a fat guy. I would have like hoo, you know. Just
that's funny.
Beer gut because I had the perfect round belly.
I feel like who was it? I feel like I know he's not Canadian, and I feel like he was in Second City in Chicago. Eugene Levy.
Oh, Eugene Levy is Canadian. He's from my hometown, or where I'm living now. Yeah.
Yeah, he was on. So I listened to this podcast called Armchair Expert, which to me is like the only podcast that exists. Like that is like my Bible of podcasts. So it's my favorite things, like therapy and celebrities. Are you kidding? Like that's my jam. And so I remember Eugene Levy was on and he was talking about the brigade of Canadian comedians that came from the same improv troupe, like to America. And like they all like made it. Like
I know Martin Short as well as from my hometown.
Yeah. Oh, is he?
Yeah, Martin Short and Eugene Levy are from Hamilton, Ontario, where I'm like in the vicinity of where I'm living now. And the high school here that they both went to actually has this wall of celebrities that went there. Most of them are hockey players, but Eugene Levy and Martin Short are in there as well. So.
That is so cool. I love a fun fact. Have you ever done stand-up comedy or anything?
No, but I've been like playing around with the idea as like another thing to add to my list of things to do.
Announced here on Stepmoms with Children. Jess is going to be a comedy star.
I find the hardest part is just like on the fly, like especially when recording opinionated lushes, like I'll just like say jokes and they come off like funny. And then I'm sitting down trying to write jokes and I'm like, it's not hitting. It's not hitting. What do I do?
100%. When I tell you I was having this conversation last night, so I went to a comedy show last night. I don't do things. Like I'm not like going out to me is like going to the supermarket, going to the store to get whatever the house needs. Like that is going out. Going out to eat because I love a food.
Me too.
But I don't like go. Like I've never been to a concert. I've never been to a comedy show. Like I've never had to sit in a concert hall arena. Like I've been to like maybe Disney on Ice as like a kid and stuff. But so this is like my first time and I did it like with a friend, like not even with my husband. Like I was like girls' night in the streets at a casino. And so
shameless.
Okay. And so here I am for the streets. And so there's a show called Real Housewives of New Jersey. I don't know if you guys have it in Canada, but so that's a show.
Yeah.
You know about it. You know about the housewives.
I know about the housewives.
And so New Jersey's really close to where I live. I live in Delaware. And so we went. It's like an hour and a half. We went to the casino. I got the tickets like as soon as they announced that they were doing it. I was like so excited and I was like, who am I? And I was going to get a hotel room. With whose money? Are you okay? Like, what are you doing? Like, planning a random ass vacation on a weekend in August? Okay, girl. But so we went, and I made so many friends. Like, the girl that was sitting next to me is, like, smoking hot. And they picked her to go on stage. And I was like, obviously they did. To go on stage, like, at the end. She's like, oh, no, they're going to call us on stage. She goes, do you think you could take a video of it? And I was like, sure, girl. And her mom was with her. Her mom looked like she could have been her sister. Also smoking hot. They're from Long Island, New York. They're the type of girls that talk like this. Could you take a video? My mother doesn't know how. And like her mom was like, yeah, no, I took these pictures. And they're all like blurry, like she was holding the phone like this when she took them. So I'm like, yeah, no, sure, no problem, no problem, no problem. And so I'm making friends with these people. I'm like shouting things at like the thing. And like, so one of the housewives that were on it, like there was like this fight that happened between these two, as there
As
usually
there
is.
yeah.
Not on the show. And so there was a part and she was like, "You're dirty." And it's just the funniest thing to ever be aired on television. This fight. And so like the girl, the Turkish girl, like pushed her, and then the other girl like clocked her in the face. This is on TV. Like, what are you guys doing? And they're both from Long or Staten Island or one of the islands in New York. And so she was there, and so she said something, and she was like, "No, somebody was saying they're over there," and she's talking about me, and I was like, is my voice projecting so loud that this bitch heard me? Because give me a microphone. And so anyway, so I'm making all these friends with the people that are sitting around us. And so I was talking on the drive back. It's a long drive home, an hour and a half, with my friend that I went with. And she was like, "You could like do comedy, dude. Like you did so good." And I was like, "Could I?" And so I'm trying to think. I'm like, no, crowd work I could do because I can make fun of people. Honey, I can make fun of people. But then I'm like, what would I say for jokes? Like, what stories would I tell? Crickets. Tumbleweeds in the brain. What? I don't know. What am I talking about? I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I am in the same boat. I'm like, what? I would go on stage and talk about what? Like my kid? Like, I don't want to roast my family when I get on there. I don't know.
think what we're planning on doing, so we're 3 Canadian women on Opinionated Lushes, but one of our hosts moved from Ontario to New Brunswick a couple years back. She's regretting her decision and moving back to Ontario, so we're really hopeful for her to come
many
back.
regrets.
So yeah, so we
is New Brunswick like closer to the right?
Yes.
Like Nova Scotia and them?
Yes. Yeah, Maritimes.
Geography.
Yeah. And
so she's moving back.
Yeah, she's moving back. So we're really excited because then we can like do our podcast more in person sometimes and not virtual when we're like just hosts, right? But we're thinking of taking that on the road. Like going to pubs and doing live shows like at pubs and stuff like that, and local bars and that kind of thing. Yeah. And just kind of getting our comedy feet wet with an audience doing our podcast. So
that sounds so cool. I mean, that's the next step for a podcaster, I feel, is a live show.
Yeah.
And then that, doing it live might introduce you to comedy.
Exactly. And I'll see if I can steal any bits from us. Maybe we'll tell a funny story and I can rework it into stand-up.
Right. Not it's the pre-work for your stand-up. Oh my gosh, what a good idea.
It's just brainstorming.
So I just feel like you people heard it here first. Jess Hart is gonna be a comedian near you at a pub. Opinionated Lushes.
Doing my best here, guys. Maybe I'll have a stand-up tour. We'll see. Maybe I'll get a Netflix special. They're giving those to anyone nowadays.
You heard it here, folks. We're making news. We're happy to be part of the journey.
Thank you.
I'll let them know. Thank you for joining me. This was so fun. I am obsessed with your life. You're doing so good. I'm so proud of you, honey. You're doing amazing, sweetie. And I'm obsessed with you, and you have a new fan, and hopefully you get some more fans, because to my girlies, my listener girlies, this one's a funny one. Go listen to Opinionated Lushes.
Yeah.
Also, download your songs on Spotify and Apple.
Yeah, I'm everywhere. Yeah, I'm everywhere. You search
everywhere
Jessica
you find
Hart.
a song.
I'm everywhere.
Unless it says she's from Ohio, then that's the wrong Jessica Hart.
Or Australia. If it says I'm from Australia, that's the supermodel Jessica Hart.
Don't get it twisted.
Canadian Jessica Hart. There we go.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, girl. So this was a fun episode. This was the day after, the morning after, the Housewives' Husbands comedy show.
I gathered that from the recounting of the story.
Where okay. Yes.
Where you said, I did this last night.
Right.
Yeah.
I forgot.
So that makes a lot of sense that it would be.
All right. So a funny thing about that comedy, not the comedy show, but just the topic of being a comedian. So I had a cousin who was in town that weekend or that week, and I was trying to make plans with her, and I said, I have plans tonight. I have a comedy thing. And her first response was, "Oh my God, you're going to be on stage?" And that tickled my pickle because she didn't think, like, her first thought wasn't, oh,
not that you were going to go witness, be an audience member
yes.
too. Her first thought was, oh shit, she's going to be on stage. She's got a comedy show.
So we love that for me.
I love that for you.
So that was an inspiration, and that's what sparked the conversation that me and Andrea had on the drive home, was me telling her that Marissa said XYZ. And so I was like, hold on, is this a real thing that I could do? But I couldn't write jokes. Like, maybe I could find things to talk about, but I would just be afraid that it would just be like how the house husband did it, how Joey did it, and he was just like roasting his wife and his sex life and his just little things in his life.
Well,
in
see,
the show,
a good comedian picks something apart.
Right.
And it's really easy to pick apart, your spouse.
Right.
It's very, very simple to do.
Yeah.
Where the funny, when it gets funny is when you start picking apart other people's, drama, or you start picking apart situations, or just, and I think you'd be a really funny comedian. Mm-hmm. You could even, if you wanted to kind of cop out, you could bill yourself as a spoken word performer where you just tell amusing stories.
Yeah.
And then, as you harness, because telling jokes is a muscle. Writing jokes is a muscle.
I have commitment issues. I mean, I say it all the time. Like, even with the podcast, I just have like this commitment because I just feel like the end is near with so many things. And
what's that supposed to mean?
Like, I don't know if this is going to last forever. It would be cool if it did. I would love to say that.
You said you married me forever.
Forever?
Forever.
Well, we're not coming to an end, babe.
I was just wondering what you're talking about.
Oh, no, I just mean, like, creatively. Like, this podcast is cool, and, like, I do enjoy doing it, but I just am such an imposter that, like, when I have these interviews, like this interview with Jessica...
I thought it was really fun.
It was fun to do, but I just have the next, the string of people who I don't know who are coming up on the pod for guests.
Well, you didn't know this. You didn't know Jessica.
Yeah, she was my first one. I feel.
No, you didn't know Anna.
Anna and Tanya too.
Yeah. So
but in my head, I'm just thinking of the next releases, like the next 4 or 5 releases, or people that I don't know. What were we talking about? I feel like such an imposter. Like,
well, don't cut it out.
Come on my Riverside, and I'm like, hi.
See, here's the thing. First of all, you're a step ahead of the Media Virus podcast because you actually pay for the platform you're on.
Mm.
For the platform that you use.
Because we're listener supported. So thank you, listener supported, because now I can use. Okay, the thing.
So that gives you credibility.
Yeah.
You've already had a fantastic digital artist make your logo.
Oh, that was you.
Yes, it was. I mean, you have all the pieces in place. It's just a matter of keeping it going. And when we were in bands, the analogy me and another guy used to use all the time is it's much easier to keep a car rolling than it is to get it to start.
Oh,
like if you got to push a car,
yeah.
Once you got it rolling, you keep it rolling because you can build momentum.
Well, yeah, that happened with season 2. There was, we were dormant for a month there. Not a lot of plays. Not a lot of followers.
I think had you kept going, you'd have a much bigger following at this point.
But I just needed a little break.
I know. It's not.
And I did work during the break. I did.
Like, I'm not chastising you. I'm just making conversation.
Yeah. No, I didn't think you were chastising, but I agree.
Well, back to Jessica.
Oh, sorry, Jess.
And I've had so many parallels, I felt, with Jessica. Having kids 7 years apart, or 8 years. Are they 7 or 8? I forget. But mine... Matt and Ryan are 7 years apart.
Right.
And I only Ryan is on the spectrum. But you being able to kind of, I don't want to say commiserate, but
in the most lighthearted way, commiserate. Just because I think her and I are similar in that, like, yes, our kids are autistic, but we can still think it's things that they do are funny. Yeah. Because they're just funny. Like and subscribe.
Right. Yeah, it's funny. Absolutely. No, but she married the dude who...
Step Zaddy without children.
Well, but she married the guy who wanted to do the same thing as I did as a kid, but he did it right.
He actually did it.
He actually, know.
Yeah, talking with all these creative people. Like, I feel like I've been saying it for weeks. But talking with all these creative people, like, it's just so refreshing because I'm not used to it. Like, the creative people that I'm used to talking to are, like, creative in the corporate world or creative and not thriving. And so...
Looked at me kind of hard there.
No. I didn't even mean you. And so, it's just cool. It's just so cool. It's cool that she has, for lack of a better word, monetized her creativity. Like, she's proving that it's possible. And it's not like I'm doing it for the money, but it's, it would be cool to
I've never done it for the money, but it'd be fucking nice.
It'd be cool, yeah.
You know what I mean?
To make a career out of this.
It would be, like, that's the goal.
Yeah, like Kale. Killer Media. Did we talk about that already?
Yeah, we did.
On the show?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Don't want to do it again. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we had the battle. I feel like we need to end this. We've talked about this battle since season...
you know what? It was anticlimactic because the Orange team lost. Agent Orange against Gangrene. And Gangrene cheated their asses off.
They did not cheat.
Cheated their asses off.
Listen, Matt is a sore loser, and I'm a realistic loser. My team was not in it to win it. Our team was all over the place as far as effort. We did not have a good leader, but it was a learning opportunity for the leader that we did have, I think.
Yeah, but the Battle of St. Andrews is not the time to be learning. The Battle of St. Andrews is time to be
I agree.
Executing.
No. And it was a learning experience for us to realize that if one of our kids wants to be the leader and we know that they shouldn't be, then we should not have them be the leader.
I tried to take over several times.
You did.
And nobody would let me. But
I was just trying
I wound up leading from the shadows, just kind of making her decisions.
Right.
Because it was like, I don't care, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, then just pick somebody. Then then just that makes it easier if you don't care, just execute.
Yeah. But we had some fun. Becky hosted, I think we told you guys. Becky hosted it. She has a field in front of her house, and we just took it over. A lot of deer poop.
A lot of shit everywhere.
A lot of little bombs. At least it wasn't like a big pile.
And goose shit.
Yeah, goose.
Lots of shit.
But I don't even remember now. There was a little baseball thing. There was a giant Jenga.
Home run derby, giant Jenga. Giant soccer ball.
Yeah, that was the end game, I think. Was a giant soccer ball, which was hilarious.
It was not really a soccer. It was like a large beach ball.
It was like a 6-foot tall white beach ball.
And we popped the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Because we were playing like maniacs.
Yeah. There was a relay with a 3-legged race that you made me so mad.
Why?
Because you said that your thing broke, but it's not that your thing broke. It's that you guys weren't coordinating your 3-legged race walk, so it detached. It was like a Velcro thing, listener. It was like a Velcro thing that you strap on the leg. And so if you are synchronized, then it will stay attached to the two appendages that it's attached to. So we didn't win the relay, and then that
I would just like to point out that the thing broke. That's it.
Okay.
We don't need to come up with a whole bunch of, because, there's only one way to break the thing.
And that's to
right. We don't have to go into the details of how to break the thing.
Sure.
And I thought we had it. We were doing good because we knew we were both we're both going to lead on the opposite foot. We'd already agreed.
Yeah.
I
feel like it's verbal, outside, inside, and then you can get faster. Outside, inside, outside, inside, outside.
Well, okay. I'll just hold on to my plan then. I won't tell the story. It's fine. Let's just keep going.
There was food by the foot eating contest. There was Miss Mary Mac, which was the end of the relay, but we didn't get that far. I feel like I forget what the first games were.
The first game was the human skee ball.
Oh, right. That's too complicated too. Well, when the video comes out, you guys will see that's too complicated to notice. But you're just throwing balls at people who are standing far away from you. But yeah, the battle was great. We had our anniversary the day after. That was fantastic. We went to Texas Roadhouse. And so when I say this, it sounds so like random because Texas Roadhouse isn't like a fancy restaurant. Like if I was going to go somewhere like commercial and not fancy, it would probably be Longhorn. But I had a gift card because I do the Fetch app and I got a gift card from my points. So that was helpful. And what else happened? Becky and Vince are getting married in a couple hours from now. Right now it's 4:55, so that means it's 1:55 in Las Vegas. So in a couple hours they will be wed. That's very exciting. So congratulations to the bride and groom, Becky and Vince.
Yeah, congrats. That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun.
What else happened? Guys, I know what happened. I've been on Matt's podcast every week, pretty consistently.
Yeah.
For a few months now. And I feel like it's like since like March.
Something like that.
Since I went on break, I feel.
Yes, since you went on break.
I don't know when that was. I think it was actually in May. But I've been doing that pretty consistently, and they're talking about news stories that or at least last night they talked about news stories that I'm concerned about. Like Jen and Ben broke up, and Lizzo is doing her before and after nonsense, and everybody's saying how happy she looks because she's skinny. And that's fucking bullshit, because you can be fat and happy too. Fat, unhealthy, and happy. It's a thing.
Well,
it's against what most people believe life is. They hate to see a fat person thriving. But
yeah,
that's the internet for you.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the spammers in my inbox?
Yeah, what's going on with that?
So listen, like, it's exciting to have new followers on Instagram and Facebook and Threads and TikTok.
And Truth Social?
I'm not on there.
No?
No, it's just for you. But I can see a scam when a scam presents itself. So I'm getting these men, alleged men, that will have pictures of them at work.
Yeah.
And them maybe with a kid or two, and like them doing something leisurely or doing something fancy, like at a nice restaurant. And they'll be single or widowed. A lot of the time in the military, that's a good one. And they don't have a lot of Facebook friends, and they might even be new to Facebook or to Instagram or to TikTok. And they will message you being very complimentary. And that's how you know that someone's scamming you.
Well, on TikTok, on Instagram, on all the socials. If a young, traditionally attractive woman friend requests me, it is spam.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I always accept it and then tell them about my podcast. So.
I remember you telling me about that scenario. So yeah, you turned it into a joke, and that's like fine. But so I got so excited because I had like 3 in my general mailbox in Instagram. I had like 3 messages, and I was like, oh my God, are these fans of the show? And the answer was no. The answer was these are
just scumbag
Scumbags
Scammers.
that are trying to swindle me. Speaking of swindle, how about Anna Delvey is going to be on Dancing with the Stars?
You were talking about this.
Oh, I can't get over it. She's a criminal. She is a fraud. She's wearing an ankle bracelet. And here she is doing her photos for Dancing with the Stars. This is crazy. Like, how far is Dancing? Like, did we run out of stars?
Yes. We ran out of stars that know how to dance. That know how to dance.
Well, you don't even have to know how to dance. There's plenty of people that didn't know how to dance that are on that show.
Yeah.
Teresa did that show.
That's when they ran out of stars.
I guess.
Like, if you hit Teresa, that's the bottom of the barrel.
Well, no, because Phaedra's on it, and we love Phaedra.
Bottom.
Shady Fei.
Bottom.
No. And there's some Olympics on there. This is the guy with the glasses that does
It's like stuff stuck in the corner of the barrel.
Okay. And I'm not like a Dancing with the Stars girly, but the Anna Delvey thing gets me. If you guys don't remember, there was a show, a Netflix series that was about her story, and she basically pretended that she was an heiress to like this famous German family. And I'm waiting for my father to send me the wire. And
I think you watched that.
Oh, I watched and the shit out of it.
I think I was in the room.
Yeah, it was very, very good. That's all I got.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too.
Let's go make some nachos.
Fucking right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.